He carried 35 times in the Redskin victory over Tampa. The Giants, 0-2, losers to Atlanta and Green Bay, think they should be and could be 2-0. One of their running backs is their number 1 draft choice, number 25, Butch Wolfham. He's been impressive so far. The quarterback is number 12, 6'5" Scott Brunner. Here, firing to number 86, Johnny Perkin. But the Giants, as they were last year, intimidate you on defense, and they are led by perhaps the best crew of linebackers in the NFL, Van Pelt, Taylor, Kelly, and Carson. So as the season of '82 resumes, it has a familiar ring. The Giants against the Redskins. One of the oldest rivalries in the NFL, a series that goes back to 1932, is resumed in this, what should be the 11th week, but it's really the 3rd week. A lot of things have happened since we spoke to you from this spot last. Giant Stadium is sold out, but there are a lot of empty seats so far as the Redskins and the Giants take the field. NFC standings, of course, you know by now that 8 teams will make the playoffs. Washington, Detroit, and Green Bay unbeaten as this day began. Dallas, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Atlanta, and Minnesota all 1-1. There'll be a lot of changes. And you look at the rest of the lineup in the National Conference. It's a pleasure to be able once again to say good afternoon from Giant Stadium. I'm Pat Summerall, and believe me, it's nice to be back to work. Working with me, as usual, of course, and it's a pleasure to be back with him, John Madden. And, John, we've had so many opinions from everybody in the country about what to expect, what the football will be like, what kind of physical condition they'll be in. What do you think?
Well, of course, I don't think it can be the same. You can't miss 8 weeks and then come back and have the same product. And, of course, I think early the defense is going to dominate. Now, talking to both coaches yesterday, they felt that the only way that they could move the ball offensively is try and confuse the defense. So I think today, from both teams, we're going to see a lot of formations, a lot of movement, motion, those types of things.
There is one other phase of the game that John and I think is going to be a factor, one we've discussed in the past couple of days, that hasn't been touched on too much, and that is special teams. How do you feel?
I think a lot of these games will be won and lost by special teams. You know, contact is tough. They can be in cardiovascular condition, but not contact. Now, the first type of contact that will come is the close in, you know, where they go boom, 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 and hit. That's relatively easy. But the tough contact's going to be that open field contact, and that's where special teams come. So here we go, kicking it off, and special teams.
And kicking it off will be special team leader for the Giants, Joe Danello. Back deep for the Redskins, number 21 is Mike Mills, one of the best. He could certainly be a factor before the day is over. Danello, deep line shot. He may not have a chance to return this one, but yes, he does. From 2 yards deep in the end zone. Mills can go. Good return out to about the 26 before the Giants special teams bring him down. We'll check those starting lineups in just a minute. The Redskins offensive backs and receivers. The quarterback, of course, Joe Theismann, off to a great start. John Riggins off to a great start. Clarence Harmon. The other running back, Art Monk and Charlie Brown, the wide receivers. The offensive line, and it's huge. Jacoby Grimm, Bostic, May, Stark, and the tight end is Don Warren. 1st and 10 Redskins from their own 27. Riggins is the lone setback. Theismann on 1st down. It's Brown. Defense is there, quickly led by Terry Jackson. The defense, one of the best. McGriff plays against the run. They play a 3-4. George Martin is the pass rusher. Neal in the middle, recovered from injury. The right end is number 79, D. Hardison. The linebackers, we mentioned, one of the best. Groups, Van Pelt, Kelly, Carson, and Taylor. A sensational rookie. The secondary is also very strong. Haynes, Jackson, Reese, and Courier. 2nd and 5 at the 32. Riggins bangs straight ahead for near first down yardage before he's stripped up by Lawrence Taylor. Here is the leader, Joe Theismann, off to a fantastic start, 67.8, with no interceptions. Official timeout for the measurement. John, are you surprised as we look around this great stadium how many empty seats you can see?
Yeah, there's a lot of orange out there. I'm not surprised. I think it's going to take the fans time to get back, too. You know, I don't think you can say, well, the strike's over, and in one day everyone comes back and ready to go.
sure you know, the Giants are sold out season ticket-wise for all of their games. But apparently, some folks have been doing some different things over the weekends recently.
A lot of people leaning on rakes, I noticed.
A lot of leaves and nice, neat little piles. Third and about a foot, it looks like. So you would expect, of course, Riggins. Line of scrimmage at 37. They have two setbacks. Otis Wansley is the one in front. Riggins is the other. And look at there. Riggins leaning, does not get the first down. Harry Carson was the man in blue who arrived on the scene first with help from Beasley Riggs. They'll probably have to measure again.
It'll be another thing to watch. This, we'll see the short yardage. There's two tight ends in there. A lead blocker going in. And then right there, Riggins looks like he took a little too much time. Had he just, boom, taken that ball up the field, he may have gotten the first down. The Redskins think they have the first down. They don't have a punting team in.
It's interesting. Joe Gibbs, the Redskin coach, was talking about Riggins and how he ran. They do have the first down. He got it by just inches. He was talking about Riggins, and he said you got to get him moving for him to be effective. What did he mean by that?
What he meant is you have to get him into and beyond the line before he's effective. He's not real effective, but between the handoff, the point of the handoff, and the line of scrimmage, you have to get him moving, get his shoulders square and upfield.
Weighing about 240. Nice first down, Redskins at their own 37. Again, it's Riggins. Barreling and burrowing ahead. Harry Carson and Brian Kelly, the two middle linebackers for the Giants, lead the tacklers.
Now, one of the things that the Redskins do, we talk about is a lot of formations, but we'll see 90% of this game, there will only be one back in the backfield, and that's what we're seeing now. They usually have one back, and that's Riggins, two tight ends, and two wide receivers.
Second and 5. Joe Gibbs is a devotee of that kind of philosophy on offense. The one lone back. They can do a lot of things from that, they feel. We'll get into that a little bit later. Heisman again gives to Riggins. Reverse. This is Art Monk on the reverse. The ball carrier. Good yardage. Harry Jackson finally made the tackle. The Redskins are acting like they have it back.
And the Giants are acting like they have it back, too, because we see the defense coming back towards us.
16-yard pickup. Excuse me, John.
Okay, here it is again. It's a reverse start. Monk. See, he hands to Riggins. Riggins hands back to Monk. Now they get all the flow going that way. It didn't fool Lawrence Taylor. You see Lawrence Taylor? Theismann blocks Lawrence Taylor. Monk goes to the outside. Watch, the ball falls out there, but it probably goes out of bounds before it's recovered.
Very close, but the Redskins have it. Good block by Theismann. Here's Riggins to that side. Riggins has some good yards, and we have the first penalty marker of the new season. Red Cashin, by the way, is the referee. That'll let us. He is. He'll let us know what went wrong and who did it. Umpire is Hendy Ansik, first year in the league. Guri Haggerty is the head linesman. Let's listen to Red Cashin.
Holding at the line of scrimmage. Number 85 on the offense. Still first down.
85 is the tight end, or one of the tight ends. The Redskins have 4. Don Warren. Riggins jogs to the sideline. It'll be first and 20. Back at the Redskin 48. First quarter, Giants Stadium. In the lone setback. And I think that's Joe Washington. Art Monk goes in motion. Here's Washington. Brad Van Pelt not fooled. The first Giant, number 10.
Now, since the Redskins only use one back in the backfield, what they do is they alternate Riggins and Joe Washington. Before the strike, of course, Joe Washington was injured and out. In fact, he was put on the injured reserve list. Of course, having that 8-week layoff, he's able to come back today.
If things had run in normal order, he would not be able to play. He'd still be on that injured reserves list.
He would have had to miss 4 games.
Clarence the lone setback. Charlie Brown swings in motion. Courier follows him over to the other side. Theismann has his man bouncing, finally juggling, complete pass. Virgil C. found a handle. Crowd thinks he was out of bounds. A 34-yard pickup. Theismann to C.
This is the type of thing we were talking about earlier. Confusing. You know, they have the three wide receivers in here. Motion. We see C come across. He's running a corner. He has about 2 or 3 yards. Does he have control right there? Not yet. Not yet. I don't think he had control before that right foot went out.
I don't think so either. Nevertheless, the Redskins have the first down at the Giants' 16. We don't have on the striped shirts. Going back is Riggin. Couple, not much. Across the 16, Curtis McGriff, who, as we mentioned earlier, plays the run so very well, is on the bottom of the pile. Let's go back to that catch and watch it again.
We'll see it right here. Of course, now, it's not a reception until he has control. You see, he doesn't have control yet. He's bobbling, bobbling, bobbling. Now he's still getting control, and he has to have 2 feet inbounds. He didn't. That second foot was out before he had control.
Riggins got 2. It's 2nd and 8. Theismann dropped, look left, now rolls right. Charlie Brown about a yard shy of the touchdown, but it is a Redskins first down. Mark Haynes knocked him out of bounds. 13-yard pickup.
Charlie Brown has been one of the big surprises for this Redskin team. We can see in the 2 games, he's already scored 3 touchdowns. Watch him, he's a first-year man. He was on injured reserve all last year. He comes across here. We see Theismann rolling out. Brown right here wanted to catch the ball, get into the end zone, and Mark Haynes knocked him out just before the goal line.
Charlie Brown, not very big, not even 180 pounds, but effective. Art Monk in the motion movement. Riggins does not get in. Hit quickly by that Giant defense, led them. This time by Terry Jackson.
That's the thing that Joe Gibbs was talking about, Riggins. You see, he has to get, he got tackled before he really got squared upfield. And what the thing he's talking about is they have to get movement from that offensive line, get the defense going back, and then get him up the field.
A solid Giant defensive unit last year. They played well in the first 2 games before they took the vacation. 2nd down goal for the Redskins from the 2. He might roll himself. He gives to Clarence Harmon, or Wansley, I'm sorry. Otis Wansley straight ahead, and he doesn't make it.
We were talking about the defense being ahead of the offense. The offense, it's easier to pass on offense and it's tougher to run. Then when you get down here in this goal line, it is really tough to run. Watch this action down here. All these guys down in here look like someone jumped off sides. You get a little dirt down in there. Good thing everyone's up too high. They're all up too high. You got to stay low.
Ray Perkins, the Giant coach, with the headset on the other side. It'll be 3rd and goal for Washington. 12th play in the drive coming up right here. Theismann keeps it himself. Harmon has the touchdown. So the Redskins break on top. Wansley, I said Harmon. One is 38, one is 39. It was Otis Wansley who took the pass from Theismann for the touchdown.
That's what they try and do down there is get the Giants 1 yard to go. They're playing strong defense. Now watch this. Now Wansley is the blocker that comes in. Now he's the first man on the right of the screen. We don't see him there. He goes like he's going to block that linebacker and then just slips right out into the flat.
Penalty marker down on the extra point. One of the Giants a little too enthusiastic. And down with Mark Mosley. 73 yards, 12
Running
plays.
into the kicker, number 51 of the defense. Goal is good. 5 yards on the kickoff.
Running into the kicker. Contact for Mosley. So with 9:27 left to play, first quarter at Giant Stadium, the Washington Redskins take the lead 7-0. The story of the Redskins scoring drive, 12 plays, 73 yards. They kept it 5 minutes, 33 seconds. Touchdown from Theismann to Wansley. Jeff Hayes kicks off. The Redskins Butch Wolfolk, number 25 for the Giants. The return man gets back to the 15 penalty marker, down once more. Final scores: Atlanta 34, the Rams 17. The Rams still haven't won. Trouble brews in the eye. Dallas 14. Tampa Bay 9. Tough times for the Cowboys, but victorious nevertheless. Green Bay continues to roll 26-7 over Minnesota. That's a final. Packers 3-0. New Orleans continues to surprise a lot of people, led by Kenny Stabler. 27-17 over Kansas City.
Number 39 of the kickers. Number 52 of the receivers, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 27 of the receivers, illegal use of the hands. The foul's offset. We'll play from right here. First down.
Boy, they caught a bunch of guys on that one play, didn't they? And one of them was the guy that just scored the touchdown. Otis Wansley was one of those guys doing something.
Cincinnati 18, Philadelphia 14. That's a final. And the Jets really rolled today over at Shea Stadium. 37-0 over Baltimore. Miami 9, Buffalo 7. Don Shula's Dolphins in good shape. Cleveland 10, New England 7. The Browns victorious. The discussion continues. Red Cashin got more airtime than we did. Just calling the penalty. Here's the Giant offensive backfield and the receiver picture. Scott Brunner, the quarterback. Butch Wolfolk and Cliff Chapman, the two running backs. Ernest Gray and Johnny Perkins, the wide receivers. You'll see a lot of Joe Morris before the day is over, replacing Wolfolk. The offensive line: Benson, Ard, Humphrey, the new center, Turner King, and the tight end is Tom Mulledy. First and 10 Giants from their own 15. Redskins lead 7-0. Wolfolk gets the carry, runs into trouble, hit first by Dexter Manley, helped out by Rich Malott. Dave Butts also in on the picture. We'll check the entire Redskin defense in just a minute. Here's the front four: Mendenhall, Butts, Brooks, and the very quick Dexter Manley. The linebackers: Kaufman, Olkowitz, Rich Malott. And the secondary: White, Dean, Mark Murphy, and Tony Peters. 2nd and 6 for the Giants. Brunner, Wolfolk. Bush breaks out of the pack. Will have a Giant first down. Penalty marker go down again. And it'll be a face mask violation, I'm sure.
One of those types of things that you like to do is fool them. The draw play, they made the Redskins think that they were going to pass and handed on the draw to Wolfolk. You're right, that will be a face mask penalty. I wonder what these officials did during that 2-month break. You think they worked on any football or worked out, or what do you think they did?
They probably met every weekend and stayed in the same motel.
Red in the face mask. Number 69 of the defense. First down.
Then went back home.
We'll see the end of this again. We see Butch Wolfolk break through on the draw. Watch the face mask right there. The left hand coming right across. And they don't miss those things.
First down at the 35. Scott Brunner, the quarterback. Redskins up 7-0. Brunner gives to Wolfolk again. Stops in the backfield. Upfield, fumbles. Gordon King falls on it, and the Giants will keep it.
Gordon King was very alert there because, you know, that ball popped out. The tackles are usually blocking someone, and you usually don't see those fumbles. But King was there, and he saw the ball pop out. He made a nice little dive for it.
6-yard pickup after the recovery by King. Make it 2nd and 4 at the Giant 41. Redskins up 7-0. Ernest Gray out wide to the left. Perkins out to the right. One running back. Perkins in motion. Brunner will put it up for the first time and throws tight end Gary Shirt. That'll be another Giant first down in Redskin territory. Just barely. Mel Kaufman made the stop.
Talking to Scott Brunner yesterday, he said that he worked out 5 days a week, and he lives in Princeton, New Jersey, and he worked out there with John Missler, so he said his arm really feels good. He was able to throw every day during the week. He didn't throw on weekends.
You play on weekends. Whatever. First and 10. 5:17 left first quarter. Bruner gives this time to Cliff Chapman. Chapman around the corner. Gets about 6 yards before Vernon Dean, the Redskins' top draft choice, comes up to cut him down.
See, Vernon Dean, he's a rookie starter now. He's starting in place of Joe Lavender. One of the things that the Redskins wanted to do with this defense is get 2 corners in there that were physical, that would hit. Joe Gibbs feels now, and Vernon Dean, the rookie, and Jarris White on the other side, he has 2 hitting corners.
It's very, very important if you choose to play that position. 2nd down and 4 at the 44. This is Woolfolk again. Butch about a half yard shy of a first down, hit down by Rich Millott first.
Now that play we just saw there is a type of play that will probably be the last thing to come around, the trap play. That really takes timing. You know, the center blocks one way, the off guard pulls and traps the off tackle, and that's tough.
Chicago came back and beat Detroit 20-17. That's the final score. We'll be there on Thanksgiving Day. 7 seconds left when they won it on a field goal. Mike Ditka's first NFL victory as a head coach. Redskins are offside. Manley jumped. Woolfolk, nevertheless, they run out the play. Olkowitz made the stop on Butch Woolfolk.
Now that's when the offense really gets a free play, when the defense jumps, because they know they already have the first down, because they'll have the penalty that'll give them the first down, so you can just go after anything. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you have the penalty in the first down.
Red Cashin will tell us who it was in just a minute. It may have been Mendenhall instead of Dexter Manley who jumped.
Isn't that short yardage? You know, they have to get down low and they get all tensed up and they have to explode, and you see that quite a bit on short yardage. I think it's easy to blame everything on the strike. You see that all year. Sorry, Red.
Number 76 on the defense. Penalty is declined. It's first down.
First down, Giants. They decline the penalty. Move to the Redskin 37. There is head coach Joe Gibbs of the Redskins. Looks a little bit like Darrell Royal. Chapman to the outside, to the right. Cuts back inside. Good yardage. Olkowitz again, the first Redskin there with Mendenhall's help.
It's funny, we were talking about early in this that the defenses will dominate unless they're full, but the Redskins took the opening kickoff, drove all the way down for a touchdown. They kick off to the Giants. Now the Giants are in the process of driving all the way down, so much for that logic.
2nd and 5 at the 32. 5:15 left first quarter. Redskins leading 7-0, but the Giants on the move. Bruner standing in and throwing over the head of Ray. Incomplete.
Fans thought that Vernon Dean may have had a little contact down there with Ernest Ray. The fans that thought that are right down there in that corner.
Lavender checks in now, number 20, as the extra defensive back. And the Redskin nickel defense. 3rd down and 5 at the 32. Missler and Perkins go out wide to the right. Ernest Gray is put to the left as the Giants come into the shotgun. Leon Bright also. Throw is intended for Larry Heater. And Bruner just missed him. Jarris White, the defender, and Danilo can reach it from there. We asked Ray Perkins about his 2 kickers, Danilo and Dave Jennings, and he said those 2 guys, there's no way they're going to get out of shape. They work out every day of the year, not just during the season.
One of the things here, of course, we have the snap from the center, then the hold by Bruner, and then the kick. That's a little different. That's a timing thing.
49-yard attempt. Plenty long enough. But wide to the right. Plenty the distance by Danilo, but no good. so the Giants come away empty. A good-looking, effective drive, but no points, and Washington still leads 7-0. The Giants nothing. We're in the first quarter at Giants Stadium. 4:49 left to play in the first quarter. Thanksgiving Day, John Madden and I will be at the Silverdome in Detroit. The Giants challenge the Detroit Lions, 12:30 Eastern Time. Have Thanksgiving with us from Detroit. Pontiac, actually. Theismann back to throw. He already leads 7-0. Now he runs. Joe Theismann gets a couple of yards. Bill Neal, the nose tackle, tripped him up. Who, of course, played his high school football close by.
The one back in the backfield, little play fake on first down, hold the linebackers. Theismann's trying to go deep. What he was trying to do, he was trying to throw to Don Warren down here deep. He fell down. So Joe had to keep the ball and make what he could out of it.
What he made was 1 yard, so it's 2nd and 9. Monk goes in motion behind Theismann and in front of Riggins. Riggins comes out of the backfield. Looking, throws to Riggins. Riggins slips down. Van Pelt is right there with him, and Harry Carson is there very quickly to help out.
See what he's trying to do here? He's looking downfield. Now he has Riggins out here. If they cover downfield, he can dump to the outside here to Riggins. You see, Riggins, he's a safety valve here. He even has a lineman in front of him. He'll pull a guard out here, right here. We'll see Mark May come out. But, of course, that didn't work.
They lost a yard with that pass completion from Theismann to Riggins. Clarence Harmon this time lines up behind Theismann. Brown comes in motion. Theismann will throw. Throwing deep, he's got a man. Virgil C. had a step. Was behind Mike Dennis. One more foot and he would have had that for 7, 6, or whatever.
I think that's one thing the Redskins can do well today. That is that long yardage package where they have the 3 wide receivers, where they have Virgil C. in there. And that seems to be pretty effective. So I think we're going to see a lot of that from the Redskins as this game goes on.
Leon Bright back by himself for the Giants. Jeff Hayes will kick for the Redskins. One of the things Joe Gibbs was telling us yesterday when we talked with him, that since the strike and during the strike, Hayes has not been punting very well, and he was having his problems in warm-up too. This one is no problem. Nope. Very, very high to Bright at the 26. Special teams for the Redskins down quickly, do a good job. Penalty marker down again, though. 41 yards punt, 4-yard return. We'll wait and see what the penalty is. Looks like every kick of any fashion, there's a penalty marker down.
Probably one of those leaving too soon. Nope, it's against the Giants. I'm sure the Redskins will turn that one down and play from there.
Good coverage. Discussion continues with Hayes, man who did the kicking.
They won't let Hayes talk. They don't let those rookie punters. They like to act like they're in the conversation, but they don't. They have captains and coaches that make those decisions. I guarantee you it wasn't Hayes.
12 men on the field by the defense. Penalty is declined. It'll be first down.
Well, there's one of those mistakes you might expect as a result of the strike. The Washington Redskins bench, 2 of the mountainous linemen, offensive linemen, Jacoby and May, sitting next together, trying to check and see where that 12th man was. We weren't able to locate him yet. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Giants Stadium. 3:06 left first quarter. Redskins over the Giants at the moment, 7-0. Conference on the sideline. Russ Krim is back to you. Giants have Butch Wolfham, the lone running back. Johnny Perkins goes in motion. This is Wolfham coming to his left. Good pursuit by the Redskins, and Wolfham got about 3. Mark Murphy knocked him out of bounds. Right now, for an update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, the Chicago Bears pulled one out on this 17-yard field goal by John Rivetto to down Detroit 2017. The Bears now 1-2, and the Lions 2-1. Jim McMahon, the rookie, played well at quarterback. Let's go back now to Pat and John.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. The story here is 7-0. Washington over the Giants. Series that goes back to 1932. Joe Morris in the game now, the rookie from Syracuse. And he'll get the handle. He's got some room. He needs a handle. The ball came flying out of Morris' hand. And he had to run back and get it. He has great speed. He can break one.
That's what the Giants want to do with Joe Morris, is get him the ball out in the open field. He started running. Just the second you said he has a handle on it, boom, that handle popped right off on him. You know, he had trouble with fumbling in the first game. Remember the opener against Atlanta?
I remember watching you do it. And I remember seeing him drop it a couple of times. Lost yardage. It'll be 3rd and 14. Back at the 27 now. As Brunner goes into the shotgun, he has Larry Heater and Leon Bright now back there with it. They both come out. Brunner under pressure. Goes deep, nothing doing there. He had to get rid of it. A few boos from the crowd as the Redskins put the pressure on Brunner.
Well, that was one that Brunner was throwing away. A defensive lineman broke free. It was Manley, and Brunner either had to take the sack or throw it away. So he chose to throw it deep into the middle.
Now one of football's best punters, Dave Jennings, will kick for the Giants. You see his average is very impressive. His long is also very impressive. And Mike Nelms, very dangerous, has never fair caught a ball. Jennings doesn't really hit this one. Nelms almost tripped up quickly, bangs around. And they say he did go down as a result of that initial contact, and they'll bring it back there. 38-yard punt. Just a 3-yard return by Nelms. Washington 7. The Giants nothing. 1:52 left first quarter. Enjoy the holiday with CBS Sports and great NCAA football. You'll see two of college football's oldest and most intense rivalries. Friday, the Oklahoma Sooners against Nebraska Cornhuskers. Game that'll determine the Big 8 champion and the host in the Orange Bowl. Then on Saturday, it'll be USC and Notre Dame. Redskins ready to go, and Riggins is too. John Riggins to the outside for good yardage. He got about 7. Line of scrimmage back at the 36. He's second down and about 3.
One of the things Joe Gibbs was telling us about John Riggins, he kept saying he's unique. He's unique. He's 33 years old. So when Joe first came to the Redskins last year, he thought, well, we don't want to run him a lot, and he wasn't very effective. Then they started just handing him the ball. The last game they played before the strike against Tampa Bay, he carried the ball 34 times. He said he's more effective the more he carries it.
2nd and 2. He should get another chance right here. And does. Not effective this time as Beasley Reese, the safety man, is up quickly. Bill Courier, the other safety man, also up quickly.
I think we'll see it. That's the thing that we were talking about earlier. See, we see the motion man come here now. John Riggins has to be able to get the ball up. He takes the ball in here. Now watch, he's running laterally. He really doesn't have power there. He didn't get a chance to turn his shoulders and square it up the field. He was caught before he got turned by Bill Courier, number 29, who was the safety right up on the line of scrimmage.
Loss of 6, make it 3rd and 9. 35 seconds left first quarter. Brown split out wide to the right. Clarence Harmon, the pass receiver, stays in the block this time, and Theismann takes off. He'll get the first down. Tripped up by Byron Hunt, but that last lunge got the first for the Redskins. 11-yard pickup by Theismann.
Now we'll look at it from the end zone. We'll see exactly what Joe Theismann sees. You see, there's no one open downfield. He sees that gap, that hole right there. Right now, he knows he has a first down. He can just get right there. Here's the thing. Now watch Lawrence Taylor 56 coming from the outside. Great pass rusher. This is what made Joe Theismann take off. He could feel Theismann coming from his outside.
Lawrence Taylor looked like somebody might have landed on the side of his leg and stung it a little bit, but he's okay. 7-0. Washington still leads the end of the first quarter. Redskins, first play of the second quarter. Operate from the 48 with Riggins, the runner. And Big John pulls over a giant tackler. He hits Harry Carson, and you don't win that battle many times.
You know, in that last play, the one that Theismann scrambled on, we were watching Lawrence Taylor rushing from the outside right. Now watch as he turns here and falls down. He hurts his right knee, and he's out of the game. You see him grab his knee? Now watch as he stands up. And he went to the sidelines, and Byron Hunt is now playing right linebacker.
And back behind those standing players, Lawrence Taylor is being administered to by the medical staff. Bill Theismann has hit all 4 of his pass attempts for 53 yards. Here comes Monk once again in motion. Riggins again the ball carrier. Straight ahead is John. This time he gets another Redskin first down. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an NFL update.
Characters, the field goal kickers, how they reacted to being off 8 weeks. Very well. Matt Barr's 24-yarder with no time left gave the Cleveland Browns a 10-7 victory over New England. And let's go back now to Pat and John.
A happy kicker. Nothing wrong with that.
Day for kickers.
7-0 Redskins. Theismann will throw to the outside and does quickly to Charlie Brown, who might be gone. Brown. Touchdown. Touchdown, Charlie Brown. You can really call it that.
Touchdown, Charlie Brown. That was one of the things we were talking about, the open field tackle. Now that in-close contact will be a little easier, but really that should have been a 5 or 6 yard gain. Now watch Charlie Brown here. Terry Jackson, number 24, is on him. Now watch Brown. Come on off the line, Brown. That's it. Now stop. Look. Now watch Jackson comes up, misses the open field tackle. Boom. 30 yards down the field into the end zone. Charlie Brown. His 4th touchdown of this season.
That was Beasley Reese who came over and tackled him right at the goal line. But Charlie Brown scores from Theismann. Mark Mosley scores out of the hole of Theismann. And it's 14-0. Lawrence Taylor, the word is, has a sprained knee. He's up and bouncing right now. That would be a serious loss if he's gone for the day. Washington 14. The Giants nothing in the second quarter. Skins their last touchdown. The 39-yard pass from Theismann to Brown. 6 plays, 64 yards. It took them 3 minutes and 23 seconds. They lead 14-0. Funny looking kickoff. Wolf will handle it, bounce it. Every time I say handle it, they drop it. The Redskins down quickly. Good coverage, and you can listen to the boos.
I think the thing that was tougher than handling it was the way that the ball was kicked. As you said, it was a funny kick. Instead of going end over end, it went side over side. It went like one of these things that go into outer space.
Jeff Hayes is a soccer-style kickoff man, the man who kicks off for the Redskins. But as we were discussing his effectiveness and how he does it last night, it's not quite a soccer stroke at it. It's a little bit closer to the end of the foot, and it makes it behave very strangely. Here's a handoff to Wolfham. That's back inside for a couple. But once again, the yellow flag goes down. And that usually, in that spot, indicates somebody on the offensive line is holding.
I think somewhere in this thing, the Giants need a little more mixture. They're going to have to start throwing the ball more because really running is very, very difficult.
Redskins play that 4-man front, and they play the run very well. Anchored by Big Dave Butts, who goes about, what, 300?
Well, when you admit to 295, you're always over 300, believe me.
Holding Number 68 on the offense. It's still first down.
J.T. Turner.
Let's see if we can catch it. It's a right guard, J.T. Turner, right there. Yeah, you were talking about Butch. You see his right hand? He just grabbed Butch's left shoulder. That's one way to block a 300-pound guy. Grab him.
No doubt about that call. Here's Bruner, 12-play bullpen. Nothing doing. He breaks away from a couple of people. Gets back near the original line of scrimmage. Tony Peters made the stop. Here's Lawrence Taylor over on the Giant bench, wrapping that tender knee.
What they're doing there, Pat, is they're wrapping ice to the knee, and that's the first thing you want to get on it. So I'm sure he won't be back in. They aren't wrapping that so he can play again. They're wrapping it to get the ice on there to keep the swelling down.
It'll be 2nd and 10. The line of scrimmage to 14. 12:40 left in the first half. Redskins 14. Giants nothing. Bruner in a situation now where he has to stop throwing. Redskins intercept. It's Dexter Manley who comes up with the rebound, and the Redskins will have it in good field position, and Bruner is down on his back. The Redskins were blitzing. They really put the pressure on him. Mel Kaufman did.
And that's what caused the play, Pat. You're right. Number 55, Mel Kaufman, put the pressure on Bruner. Now watch him. He'll come from the outside, and just as Scott Bruner's getting ready to throw. It's not the inside guy. See, it's the outside guy and an inside guy. He threw a little behind. It was tipped and then caught by a defensive end who may be one of the fastest guys in the team.
Dexter Manley, right. Olkowitz, give him an assist, too, because he was the linebacker who came from the inside. First down, Redskins. They should start to put this thing away very quickly. 1st and 10 at the 18. To Riggins. Blockers in front. Nothing doing as Courier is out there and makes a good play. Last 3 times the Redskins have had the ball. That long drive for the first touchdown. The next time 3 plays in the punt. The last time 6 plays and another TD. It'll be 2nd and 9 from still the Giant 18. Word on Lawrence Taylor is that he probably will be able to come back. Didn't appear that he would be when they start to put the ice on. That looks like he might take an extended rest. Theismann. Art Monk breaks 1 tackle, gets down to about the 11, shy of a first down. Brian Kelly, the tackler.
I tell you, Joe Theismann and the Redskins are really doing a good job of mixing up. Now let's watch the blocking here on George Martin. Even at Christmas, they're doubling him. One guy hits him, grabs his mask. The other guy, Mark May, there's underneath his throat, turns around, hits him from behind. That's really getting it when you're a pass rusher. The head, the neck, the throat, and then boom, a shot in the back.
That's the final score. Pittsburgh 24, Houston 10. Steelers unbeaten still. 3rd and 3 for Washington. Rick Walker was in motion. Theismann rolls to his left. Scrambles around. Theismann scrambles, still on his feet. First down at the 5. Harry Carson finally tripped him up, but there's a penalty marker on the play.
Joe Theismann gets up. He says he's okay. I'll tell you, this is a gutsy guy, this Joe Theismann. Most quarterbacks in the National Football League, when they have to scramble, they don't like to. They usually get the ball and then turn it to the outside, take it towards the sideline. Joe took that ball out there, and instead of cutting outside, boom, he took it right back to the inside and probably picked up 4 or 5 more yards as a result. A first down and a penalty.
So they move it closer.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 53 on the defense. First down.
Penalty call against Harry Carson. That didn't give him the first down. It just moves it closer. Theismann's the only quarterback the Redskins have ever had, and they've had some great ones, to run for over 1,000 yards.
Sonny Jurgensen did?
Maybe dropping back. Riggins. Big John pulls into the end zone. Redskins 20. Giants nothing.
The Redskins really have the Giants on the run now. I'm very impressed with this Redskins again, offense. I mean, they're mixing the ball up, run and pass. They're going formations, a lot of things. They're doing a lot of things very well. Joe Gibbs said they probably have 75% of their game plan in. Let's watch some of this action down here from the ground level. A lot of bodies in there. Riggins square shoulder. You're not going to tackle him like that.
Mosley adds the extra point, and it's 21-0 with 11:17 left in the first half. Redskins looking very impressive. 21-0. They lead the Giants. 18 yards. They went for that touchdown. The Giants have made a kick return change, and Leon Bright is deep instead of Wolfram. Bright at the 12. He starts upfield. He's got a blocker in front and some room. Leon Bright out to the 30. .07 left in the first half as Redskins have dominated from the very beginning. They lead 21-0. Next Saturday, NCAA basketball is back on CBS. Dean Smith's defending NCAA champion North Carolina Tar Heels take on the Missouri Tigers. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Gary Bender and Billy Packer will bring it to you. Joe Morris takes the handoff from Gruner. Cuts it upfield for good yardage, about 6. Dexter Manley tripped him up.
I think somewhere, you know, of course, there's plenty of time to go. 10 minutes and 53 seconds still in this half, but I think somewhere the Giants are going to have to start mixing in some pass on first down. Thus far, they've been running when they're supposed to run and passing when they're supposed to pass, playing right into the Redskins defense.
6 yards by Morris, 2nd and 4. Bruner will throw. He has time. He does have time. Joe Morris on the reception. It's about a yard shy of a first down. Morris is just 5'7", but he weighs 190. On the last 3 possessions, missed field goal of 49 yards by Danilo. They ran 3 plays and punted. They ran 2 plays and had a pass intercepted. Now it's 3rd and short. Less than a yard. Ready to center up over the ball. Bruner on a quarterback sneak. Gave things a little time to develop. And then just stretched out that 6'5" frame for the first down for the Giants. Here is the other quarterback. He's been so effective, not just today, but before the strike. San Francisco 3, St. Louis nothing, second quarter. 15-yard field goal by Ray Wersching. Denver 7, Seattle nothing. Bruner will throw. Has a man wide open. It's quick check on. It'll be another Giant first down in Redskin territory. Tony Peters knocked him out of bounds.
Now that's the thing I think they have to do is start throwing on first down, getting some mixture, fooling the Redskin defense. Another thing is keep that Redskin defense out there. Tire them out. See, now we see him here. He's coming back. He finds Chapman out there, hits him uncovered, and he's able to get up and get enough for the first down. So I think that's important, that the Giants get a drive so that they can tire down, wear down that defense a little. When you go 3 and punt and 2 and intercept, that defense will stay fresh. They've been off 2 months. They'll stay fresh.
From the Redskin 47. Morris is hit in the backfield very quickly by safety man Tony Peters. That is a good job by a strong safety.
That was a good job by whoever called that, because Tony Peters was coming on a safety blitz. He's coming right there. See 23, he's blitzing, and he blitzed right into the hole that Joe Morris was running. Perfect call for that play.
Morris just barely got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Giants. 21-0, Washington leading. Perkins out wide to the right. Ernest Gray out to the left side. Tight end is Mulliby. Draw play is to Morris. He is almost dragged down from behind before he got back to the line of scrimmage. Wasn't. Finally gets a couple. Tony Peters again, the tackler.
That Tony Peters is a strong safety, and he's up there. He's playing awfully tight. On the down before, he was blitzing. On that last play, he was very tight. I think the Giants will have to get some passing to the tight end to loosen him up to get him out of the running game.
Joe Lavender comes in as the 5th defensive back. Opowitz comes out. 3rd and 6 at the 43. Shotgun formation. Bruner gets a good snap. Redskins put on the heat. Pass was caught by Perkins. Stays on his feet. Crawls and scrambles. He'll have the first down and more down to the 21-yard line. Johnny Perkins. A good effort. 16-yard gain. Pass from Bruner.
This is what they have to do. You know, they got some passing on first down. Mixing the formations. They're in a shotgun now. You see they pick up the blitz. They kept their running back Heater in, and that gave Perkins time to work out in the secondary against Joe Lavender.
Good catch by Johnny Perkins. 6-year pro from Abilene Christian. Morris. Good yardage again. Left side of the Giant offensive line did a good job firing off the ball then.
I'll tell you who else did a good job is a fullback, Cliff Chapman. He led through. The line blocked well, and then Chapman, the big fullback, he came through there and he reamed a hole for Joe Morris.
4-yard gain. Make it 2nd and 6, or call it 2nd and 6. 10-0. The 49ers over the Cardinals. Jeff Moore just scored. 49ers had a lot of injured players before the strike, so for them in many ways, it was a break. Here's Chapman gets to the outside. Swims down to about the 10, 11-yard line, knocked out of bounds by Manley.
That was a smart adjustment by Chapman, Pat. What they did is this time they blitzed the weak safety, Mark Murphy. He came up and he blitzed into the hole that Chapman was going to run. Chapman saw Murphy coming, and he bounced the ball out to the left-hand side. Let's see if we can see that again after this measurement.
Officials had to bring the flags all the way across the field. We have 6 minutes and 15 seconds, by the way, left in the first half.
Oh, that's about as close as you get. You know, I haven't drawn anything. I want to draw something here. Now, let's see if we can see this here. We'll see, here's the weak safety, Murphy. He's going to come up to blitz in this hole. Chapman starts here, takes the ball, sees him, and then bounces it to the outside. Let's watch that. See, here comes Murphy. He's sneaking up. He's sneaking up. He hits right in there. Chapman just sees it and outruns it to the outside. Good adjustment.
Very good drawing, too, Janet. You must have refined your artistic prowess during the strike.
Working on coloring books.
Giants with 2 tight ends. Bruner again. Quarterback sneaks for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, I think, just inside the 10. Very close to the 10-yard line.
Now, this is a great place for a play fake. You know, fake a run and throw a pass. I don't think you want to run on first down, run on second down, and get to where you have to run on third down, because it's tough to run, and the closer you get to the goal line, the tougher it is to run. Conversely, I think passing is relatively easy here. Let's see what Ray Perkins does.
The ball is just outside the 10-yard line. They could make a first down, conceivably, without making a touchdown. Bruner gets to Morris on first down. Morris gets half a yard. Mel Kaufman tripped him up. Perkins doesn't agree with it.
No, he didn't.
I do if it matters.
He's calling some plays there. Boom, up, down, and well. See, now those signals, he gives 4 signals. One has to be the formation. One's the type of blocking. The third would be a pass route. And the fourth could be none of this means anything.
And then you grab the cable.
They say call your own. You're on your own, man. We're down 21-0. It's every man for himself.
Wolford had been in the backfield. Now he comes out. Perkins has it go right through his hand. Jarris White was the defender back there with it.
Now it looks like, see, now this is really long yardage. They're 3rd and long, so the Giants on this situation will probably go into a shotgun. Now again, passing down here on 3rd down is tough because you only have 20 yards to work. 10 yards to the goal line, and then of course 10 yards in the end zone.
Play number 13 coming up in this drive, and indeed they do go into a shotgun. Wheeler starts Missler in motion. Snap. Wheeler looks, fires to Missler. He doesn't hang on to the football. They rule it a complete pass, and they rule him down. It'll be 4th down.
There's an injured player out there too, Pat. Let's watch it again. We see Missler. He comes in motion. Now on 3rd down, you have to get everyone into the end zone. This is no good. See, boom, here he gets here. They still have to kick the field goal. When you have 3rd down and you're going to throw the ball, you have to throw it into the end zone.
Leon Bright is the injured Giant. Joe Danello's on the field, so it looks as if the Giants will attempt the field goal. 21-0. Redskins over the Giants. John Madden at Giant Stadium. 4:45 left in the first half. The Redskins leading the Giants 21-0. The Giants, Joe Danello on the scene to try to attempt a 20-yard field goal.
Always the possibility of a fake down here.
Danello missed from 49 yards out earlier. Bruner the holder. Put it down quickly, and Danello doesn't miss it. 21-3. That decision to go for a field goal, is not necessarily a very popular one with this sellout crowd. 21-3, that makes it. We have 4:28 left to play in the first half at Giant Stadium. The Redskins so far in command. Will be at the Detroit Lions. 12 o'clock Eastern time. The NFL today begins it all. Then at the half, Brandon Erb with scores and highlights, and Commissioner Rozelle will be in the studio. Mike Nelms back in the end zone to take Danello's kickoff. Mike Nelms to the outside. Nelms got some room. Nelms still on his feet and out of bounds. Good return. Right up at the 40-yard line. McLaughlin knocked him out of bounds. A 42-yard return by Mike Nelms, and a good one.
Mike Nelms may be the best kick returner in the National Football League. As you said, he doesn't fair catch. This is a tough thing to have to do. I'll tell you, he really does it well to return those kicks. A lot of guys flying down the field at you, taking shots. You have to concentrate on catching the ball, find your block. That's tough. Whew.
Monk goes in motion on first down. Theismann gives to Riggins. Riggins off to the left side quickly for about 3. D. Hardison and Bill Neal tripped him up.
You know, Riggins, 33 years old. A couple years ago, he took a season off, stayed down there in his farm in Kansas. Came back last year, had a fine year again for the Redskins after Joe Gibbs figured out he has to be a workhorse. But he really loves to play the game. You know, during the strike, he was one of the players that played in that All-Star game.
Hey, bro, when you get
2nd down, 7 at the 43. John Riggins, the 8th leading rusher in NFL history. Monk again in motion. Fake is to Riggins, and Monk on the reverse, no place to go. George Martin is there to take him down. Number 75 was not fooled. Martin did a lot of running on that play.
Yeah, he did. He tried to start to reverse to the right. He tried to reverse back to this side, and Byron Hunt, who's in there for Lawrence Taylor, was playing that well too, and he was following him from behind.
Dave Butts. Nice visit with him yesterday, having his shoulder pads. That's a pad. That's not him.
Yeah, a lot of things happen. You know, the equipment gets out of shape.
Holy, what's the deal?
2 month strike.
Here comes in motion again. Penalty marker down as Heisman goes deep, and he has a man for 3. Virgil C. Penalty marker down, however.
I think that's going to be an illegal formation against the Redskins. Looked like the Redskins really weren't set. They had people moving around when the ball was snapped. I think that's an illegal formation, and that play will be brought back.
And that was a big one, a 37-yard pass completion. Theismann to C. Red Cashin put things in order.
Illegal shift. Number 81 and number 80 were both moving when the ball was snapped. Still 3rd down.
Art Monk and the man who caught the 37-yard pass, Virgil C., were the people who were moving. Joe Gibbs looking on. He used to work for you, didn't he, John?
He sure did. He started out at San Diego State. I was the defensive coordinator, Don Coryell the head coach, and Joe Gibbs was my assistant.
Here's Theismann under pressure, gets away from one man, still looking for a place to go, and he can't get away from everybody. D. Hardison, 12-yard loss. George Martin also on the pass rush.
Hey, they remember how to cheer. Look at those fans. I'll tell you, on this one here, you have to credit the defensive secondary, their coverage, because we'll see the linebackers are coming on a blitz. We see Hunt up there. The safety coming from the outside, man-to-man coverage. Theismann doesn't have anyone deep, has to hold the ball, and a whole group of them get there on him.
Give some credit to Byron Hunt also. Helped out on that sack of Theismann. Hayes in the kick. Leon Bright, who was injured earlier, seems to be okay now and is back deep for the Giants. It's a Giant timeout, so they have 2 left here in the first half. The Redskins. Theismann talked things over.
The one player, of course, we noticed that hasn't been back is Lawrence Taylor.
Leon Bright, 27-year-old veteran from Florida State. Theismann very much in command of that Redskin offense.
Well, Joe Gibbs was telling us that when the strike started, he gave Theismann control of the passing game. So the receivers and Theismann would work out separately from the linemen. And worked out, he said, 4 or 5 days a week, all through the strike.
Joe Theismann was saying how boring it got during those 8 weeks. They wound up playing touch football just about every day. That's the way they got their running. Bouncing snap, fielded nicely by Hayes. The ball was not done so nicely, though, as Bright comes up. He is hit. He tried to make the catch. Penalty markers go down all over the place. And this will take a long time to untangle.
This will, but they didn't. 1, there was a penalty before Bright caught the ball. 2, Bright didn't have a chance. See, even though he didn't fair catch, you have to give him a chance to catch the ball. So that one there will be against the Redskins. But before that penalty, there was another one thrown.
Larry Heater. One of the players involved in that scramble and struggle.
Interference with the opportunity by the kickers. Holding by the receivers. Penalties will offset. It'll be 4th down.
No, that's wrong. I mean, that's probably the rule, but I still say, and I will always say that that's wrong. That just because the offense, just because a return team has a penalty, they can be offsides or in this case holding, that doesn't give the Redskins or the kicking team the right to run into a return man. That is wrong. The NFL, your rules makers, that's wrong. You should never get a free shot at an unprotected man.
In this case, it's a free cheap shot, really.
It is, and that's one of the cheapest shots that there can be. Because that guy's back there, he's concentrating on the ball, watching the ball into his hands. He doesn't see the guy coming. He can't protect himself. Terrible.
Leon Bright still standing back at the 35. Rick Hayes gets a better snap this time. 10 men up on the line of scrimmage for the Giants. They're going to put a rush on. 26-yard line where he can't field it cleanly. Gets away from one man, but the Redskins special teams do an excellent job. They're down there quickly. 48-yard punt, just a 3-yard return by Leon Bright.
That's always been one of the strengths of the Redskins all the way back to the George Allen days. They've always been very strong on special teams.
2 minutes left to play first half. Washington 21. The Giants coming up at the halftime once again. The NFL Today. Brent Nerve, the scores and highlights from around the league, and Commissioner Pete Rozelle will be live in the studio discussing the events of the last 2 months. Bill Gibbs looking on. Timeouts remaining. Washington has all of them. Giants have 2. Wolfham back in the game as the lone setback as Perkins starts in motion to the left. Slows up. Delays out in the left flat. Wolfham was the intended receiver. Bruner didn't quite get it to him with enough authority.
The Giants are struggling today.
They really are.
I thought that would happen. I think the whole football thing is going to be struggling because you just can't take off 2 months and then come back and have the same product. But you really have to be impressed with the Redskins. They look very sharp, especially offensively.
San Francisco 10, St. Louis 7. Lomax to Roy Green got the Cardinals on the scoreboard. 2nd and 10. Got Bruner out of the shotgun. Has time. Had Leon Bright wide open. Couldn't get the ball to him. Under a little bit of pressure. Perkins looking on. Tony McGee, who the Redskins got from New England, put the heat on Bruner. Scott is 6 out of 13. Perkins once again starts his signal. And Heater, the 2 backs back there with Bruner. Perkins once again in motion. Bruner has to step into the pocket and has to accept the sack by Dexter Manley. The pressure came from the outside. He stepped up and Manley was there.
Of course, the fans here will boo Bruner, but that was another thing. The Redskins had their 5 defensive backs in there, and Bruner didn't have anyone to throw to. Everyone was covered. Let's see if we can see it here. The pass protection initially isn't bad. See, he has time. The problem is there's no one open. You see, so now he has to put the ball down, and as you say, he has to take the sack. One of the things that happened downfield is Johnny Perkins fell down.
The Redskins take this time out, so they have 2 left in the first half, leading 21-3. It'll be 4th and 19, so the Skins will get it back. Huff, who works on the Redskin radio broadcast and who played for both the Giants and the Redskins, will receive his Hall of Fame ring in a ceremony here at halftime at Giant Stadium. Dave Jennings. Back to punt. Standing at his 5. Mike Nelms, the dangerous one, back deep to the Redskins. Not one of Jennings' best. Nelms likes to operate. Tries to struggle back into Giant territory. Gets it just to about midfield.
Let's see if we can take a look at that last pass and see what happened. We see Johnny Perkins here. He's coming in motion. Now, as he starts up here, right about here, he gets jammed. Now, Bruner's, he's back here. He's watching Perkins. And, of course, when he gets jammed, that throws the timing off, and he has to take the sack. Now, watch it. Here comes Perkins in motion. Now, watch him. Now, right there, you see, when he got jammed, that was the thing when Bruner had to bring the ball down. It's just those little things that happen in that secondary that either make it successful or unsuccessful.
From midfield, Theismann starts his Redskins work with Clarence Harmon behind him and Art Monk in motion. Theismann looking. Blitz is on. Byron Hunt was there. Pass is complete. The number 85, Don Warren, the tight end, with Beasley Reese all over him.
There were two things that were really evolving in professional football this year before the strike, and one seemed to be the one man in the backfield and 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, or 3 wide receivers on offense. And then on defense, a lot more blitzing. We start again, and we're seeing both of those things. We're seeing a lot of blitzing today from both defenses, and mostly one man in the backfield on offense.
In motion. To Harmon. Penalty marker down. Harmon with some room. He'll have more than enough for a first down. Out of bounds. Stops the clock. But a penalty marker down as Terry Jackson knocks Clarence Harmon out of bounds. It's against the Redskins. Illegal use of hands.
So, you know, last night we were talking to Joe Gibbs and asked him how much of his game plan he had in, and you know, compared to normal, he said probably 75%. And later we met with Joe Theismann, asked him the same question, and he said 100%. In fact, he says we have more plays in for this game than we did our first 2 before the strike.
Holding number 74 on the offense. Still second down.
74 is George Stark.
He's the right tackle here. Let's see if we can see it. He starts back right there. I guess it's holding from behind, maybe the front too. See, anytime a player like Stark, you see what happened at the end? He put both arms out like he didn't do it. That means he did it. Yeah, he did.
Second and 16. 43 seconds left to play in the first half. Redskins up 21-3. Back with time for a while. Pass is intended for Virgil C. But nothing doing for C. Over his head. A long time, in fact, not this year, has Joe Theismann thrown an interception.
Look at that. He has that black stuff under his eyes. You don't wonder if he needs that today. There hasn't been any sun out.
No.
We're playing in the lights now.
The lights are working at Giant Stadium, and they've been on since the beginning of the game. Maybe that's what he feels he needs it for. Remember, they won out the last time they played football here.
Went out twice, didn't they? They blamed it on some computer. At this age, you blame everything on computer. Ah, the computer's down.
It was on strike. George Martin chasing. Theismann finally throws and gets rid of it. Incomplete. Virgil C. was the intended receiver. Martin around Theismann's feet. 32 seconds remaining. Leon Bright comes in. Hayes will kick for the Redskins. Very young team, Washington. Joe Gibbs and Bobby Beathard did a complete house cleaning when they came in and took over. Very young and a big team.
And they did an excellent job. Bobby Beathard's a fine general manager, and Joe Gibbs is a fine football coach. Of course, I played with Bobby Beathard in college and coached with Joe Gibbs in college.
The Redskin connection. Good high kick by Hayes. Right, got no place to go. Giants had everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and the Redskins were down there in good shape under that high kick. 43-yard punt. That's not too impressive, but the height on that thing that allowed the Redskins to get down and cover so well was very good. Here comes Scott Brunner. His father is a coach in the NFL for the Detroit Lions. So on Thanksgiving Day, when we're there for that broadcast, we'll see son against father, or vice versa.
At least that's one part of the game that'll be able to be together. One part of the family will be able to be together on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving and football, we have to have that, though. You know, if they didn't come back off strike, there wouldn't have been any football on Thanksgiving.
You and I would have had Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. The crowd boos the choice of the Giants to run it. Butch Wolfwood was the ball carrier, and that should be the last play of the first half.
I think the Giants just want to run out the halftime and go in and regroup and come back and make something better happen in the second half.
That is the end of the first half as Scott Brunner trots to the tunnel to head for the Giant locker room. Redskins dominating in the first half, 21-3. But a lot of time left. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Don't forget Commissioner Peter. You can sort of gear yourself for that. And the teams that played on Thanksgiving Day seem to be able to make a better run at things down the stretch.
the other thing that may be true is the teams in the warm weather cities. It may be easier for them to get it back because one, of course, heat will help conditioning, and two, they can stay on the field longer. When you get back here in the East, it's tough just to survive that in some of the weather that we have.
At the half, by the way, I think I mentioned it early in the broadcast that one of the things that was going to take place here at Giant Stadium was that 10-10, the San Francisco-St. Louis score. The great linebacker of the Giants and the Redskins, Sam Huff, would be presented with his Hall of Fame ring. And Sam made a very emotional speech. It's Pete Elliott, director of the Hall of Fame, on the right-hand side of your picture. Sam, I guess, was the first of the great middle linebackers. Halftime stats, John, anything surprise you there?
Well, really, you look at the Giants passing, you know, again, we said the defenses will probably be ahead, but if you're going to move the ball, you have to move it with the pass. And we see that the Giants in the first half only had 39 yards of passing.
Leon Bright is number 45 for the Giants. Last year, there were a couple of games, one in particular against the Eagles, I remember, where he took a very severe beating. He was knocked out, it seemed like 3 or 4 times, and kept coming back. Hayes will kick off for the Redskins. He hasn't really hit one yet. Bright standing right at the goal line. Half number 2 underway. Still hasn't hit. This is Larry Heater. Not Bright, who brings it outside the 20 to about the 22, where the Giants will take over. Fans were very unhappy with this Giant team as they headed for the locker room at the half.
They were chanting, strike, strike, strike.
Go back on strike.
We see here Theismann had 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bruner only had 48 yards and, of course, no touchdowns.
Ernest Gray splits out wide to the left. Perkins again to the right. They're the 2 Giant wide receivers. Scott Bruner, the quarterback. This is Cliff Chapman going to his left and picking up good yardage. Out to about the 28 before Mark Murphy makes the stop for Washington. Dave Butts and Joe Theismann were saying last night that one of the things that went on during the strike that they thought was very advantageous for the Redskins was that Murphy did such a good job in keeping them informed exactly what was going on.
Yeah, Murphy is their player rep, and of course he was one of the board of directors of the NFL Players Union.
Second down 4 to 28. Wolford dragged down in the backfield by one arm of Perry Brooks. Dave Butts, the other tackle, helped him out.
So I think that big Dave Butts got that big 300 pounds going, and he got a little penetration on there. And Woolfolk didn't have any place to go. There's Dave Butts. He's, 6'7", 295 pounds. I'll tell you, that is a big guy. That's like blocking that Coke machine. You get in there, and not as big as Louis Kelcher, but pretty close.
Nobody's as big as Louis Kelcher. He admitted to what, 335?
He admitted to 330. And when you admit to 330, you got to be 350, 60, 70, something like that.
Really doesn't matter. Turner has the pass knocked away, intended for Gary Shirk. Monty Coleman, he of the blacktop high shoes, came in to knock it down.
They say Monty Coleman is one of the best athletes on this team. See the way he's holding his shoulder there? In practice, he injured his left shoulder. So he didn't start today, and Joe Gibbs is just using Monty Coleman on pass defense situations.
Quick snap by the Giants. Dave Jennings winds a spiral. Penalty markers down. He kicks it away from Nelms this time. Wise choice.
One thing, it doesn't look like they've practiced special teams a lot in those 4 days, did it? I think that's the last thing that you get going. That one will be against the Redskins, but you get the offense and the defense going, and then probably on Saturday they said, okay, everyone in. Oh, wait, not so fast. Come on back. We got to go over special teams.
Jennings is saying it's still 4th down. What do you want to do?
Punt, Dave.
That must be the message he got as he backs out. Now he's going back. side that the play will stand has done. A 43-yard punt, no return, and that's just a little indication of the respect that the Giants have for Mike Nell.
12 men on the field by the defense. Penalty is declined. Be first down.
First down. Redskins at the 30. Lawrence Taylor, number 56, back in the lineup. You recall that he injured his knee in the first half. They put ice on it. Apparently they've decided it's okay to go. Riggins alone set back, gets the carry. Cuts back inside. Harry Carson meets him in the backfield. He doesn't go anywhere. Beasley Reese came up to help out. 13:07 left third quarter. Redskins 21, Giants 3. Seattle and Denver tied at 7.
Seattle has a new coach, huh? Mike McCormick up there. Jack Patera was fired during the strike.
He was on a fishing trip. St. Louis leading San Francisco 13-10. The 49ers having problems defending their crown. Patera was on a fishing trip when he got the word in the middle of the strike, and he said, "Why now?"
What did they do today?
Heisman with time. It's Clarence Harmon out of the backfield. Harmon out to about the 37-yard line. Byron Hunt wrapped him up. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Joe.
I was watching Lawrence Taylor out there, Pat, on these plays, and he really looks like he's trying it out. Let's just watch him again. Isolate. We see him out there. He's coming as a pass rusher. They're blocking a tight end on him. He looks a little tentative on that thing. See, it's his right knee. It looks like he's just trying it out to see if it's okay.
He doesn't look like he normally would look. You're right about that. 3rd and 3. Walker in motion. Art Monk will get the Redskin first down on the pass from Theismann. Brian Kelly made the stop. Taylor came on a rush with a little bit more authority that time.
He did that time, but one of the things that the Redskins said they want to do against Lawrence Taylor is always have a tight end on him. Always put someone on his nose. We'll watch the play from the end zone here. We see Theismann backing out, and we see Taylor coming there being blocked. Theismann steps around it and completes a pass.
Art Monk is a magnificent athlete. Watch the pass rush by Taylor.
Just wait. You see he has a man on him right there. Don Warren, the tight end. He starts outside, tries to come back inside. They aren't leaving him free like they used to last year.
Theismann to Riggins. Quick screen to the outside. Riggins gets up to about the 47 and pick up a 3. Brian Kelly and Harry Carson play it well. Nose tackle Bill Neal also gets out. And rest and time off helped him.
One of the things I think we're seeing players here, John Riggins just took himself out. And looks like he has an equipment problem there. But both Joe Gibbs and Ray Perkins told us yesterday that they were going to let the players substitute themselves if they felt tired. Riggins just didn't want those sleeves on anymore.
It'll be 2nd and 6 at the 47. Monk again in motion. This is Clarence Harmon. Up to midfield, stop there. Byron Hunt again led the tacklers.
We were talking about backs and Lawrence Taylor trying his knee out. We mentioned Joe Washington earlier, where he was going to try his knee out. He was injured before the strike, and to my recollection, I only remember him in there for one play thus far.
I think that's right. Byron Hunt has replaced Brad Van Pelt. Van Pelt was one of the Giants who had gained a substantial amount of weight during the strike, and he might have gotten a little tired. They don't lose much with Byron Hunt. Theismann looks left, throws right. He's got C, and he has him knocked out of bounds. Good coverage by Haynes this time. Mike Dennis back there as well.
See if we can watch that again, and it's man-to-man right there. We see Mike Dennis. He's a 5th defensive back. He was in there on C. Looked like he hit him about the same time the ball arrived, which is legal. You can't hit him before the ball gets there, but you can when the ball gets there.
Hayes to punt. Leon Bright deep.
Giants only have 11 men.
10 of them up on the line of scrimmage, and Leon Bright back by himself. Oh, they blocked it. Byron Hunt came from nowhere. He did the blocking. Byron Hunt right up the middle. Frank Marion also in on the block.
See if we can see it again, Pat. I think it was Marion. It was Frank Marion, number 51. He comes from the outside left. Now let's see. He was on the left side, so he'll come right here from the right up the middle. He's coming. I'm sorry. He came right up the middle. Jeff Hayes didn't have a chance.
Nobody touched him. First down, Giants at the Redskins 26. 9:27 left, third quarter. Catton and Woolfolk. On first down, Bruner has the ball batted straight up in the air. The Redskins had the blitz on, led by Mark Murphy.
Tell you one thing, in strategy, both of these teams are going after each other. The Redskins and Giants are both blitzing a lot. They're going after punt blocks, and you know, they're not going to let those offensive or kicking games just set and get started.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down and 10 at the 26. Bruner drops again. Scrambles around to the outside. Fires. Perkins open in the end zone. Touchdown. Tony Peters back there with him, but Perkins had a couple steps.
That brings the fans back. I think that's what the Giants needed. It all started with a special teams play, with a block punt. So that's the type of thing that you need sometimes to change that deal they call momentum.
Bruner will hold for Danilo to try to make it 21-10.
Again, we'll see Johnny Perkins here. He's isolated right there. He gets bumped. That was a zone defense. It looked like there was supposed to be a man deep. No one rotated over. Tony Peters comes into the picture too late, and Perkins has a touchdown. See that zone? It was supposed to be a bump, and then the deep man was supposed to get over there. Tony Peters, and he didn't. Watch the pass protection here. This is maybe what the Giants have to do. Roll out a little. Move the pocket. He does, and finds Johnny Perkins before Tony Peters can get to him. What happens when a zone doesn't work? You get a bump here, and then this safety's supposed to get over. Now watch what happens. We'll start the play. We'll see the corner, Jarris White, get his bump. See, he gets the bump. Now right now, he releases him. Now stop it. Now see what happens. Here's White. He's short. Here's Peters. He has deep, but he doesn't get over. That's how you beat an uncoordinated double zone.
And we come back. There's Joe Danilo is set to kick off to Mike Milne. 21-10, Redskins lead. The liner is taken at the 1 by Milne. There's a front. The foul ball is loose. Redskins get it back. Milne was hit hard. Recovery made by, the hit was made by Byron Hunt.
Let's watch that hit again. Now here Nelms, this is where probably one of the toughest acts in football, as we said earlier, is being a kick returner. Now watch Nelms here. There's Marion again. It was Marion who really put his helmet right on the ball. That's special teams play by Frank Marion. He blocked the punt, and down in the kickoff and caused a fumble.
Pete Cronin made the recovery. Hunt and Marion both have been doing an outstanding job. Marion blocked that punt. Monk in motion. Nice one out to Monk. Don't forget Thanksgiving Day. The Giants will visit Detroit's Silverdome. 12 o'clock Eastern Time starts the NFL today, and then the game between the Giants and the Lions. Then on Sunday on CBS, Philadelphia will be at Washington and Green Bay against the Jets. That's at Indy.
I love it. I tell you, it's nice to be back. We went 8 weeks without any NFL football. Now we do 2 games in 5 days. Go.
Redskins last 3 possessions. Brad Van Pelt back in the game for the Giants defensive unit. Riggins up close to a first down. Curtis McGriff made the tackle.
Brad Van Pelt, I guess he weighs about 250 pounds now. He gets much larger than that. They'll have to change that number to a 70, put him down in a 3-point stance and move him over 1 slot.
Third quarter score, the Broncos 10-7 over Seattle. That close to a first down. Is a first down. San Francisco has recaptured the lead in St. Louis. 17-13, the 49ers. Russ Francis scored the touchdown on a pass from Joe Montana. Redskins going with a 2 tight end setup. Again, the 1 lone setback. Monk out wide to the right, and now he goes in motion. He'll just come into your picture. Theismann to Riggins. Riggins around the outside gets very, very low. Terry Jackson, the cornerback, up quickly to make the first contact with Riggins.
See, you know, before they hadn't seen that. Lawrence Taylor had lined up in line. Now they're putting the end up here. They're putting Lawrence Taylor back off the line because they know that they're going to run in this direction at him. Let's watch this again. So Lawrence Taylor is back to the outside, coming up there from the outside. Back off the line with the end wide.
Clarence Harmon on 2nd and 9. He'll get the carry, and Harmon breaks into the secondary. Harmon still on his feet, still running. Fine effort by Clarence Harmon out to the 50. Bill Courier finally made the stop. A 19-yard pickup, the longest run of the day by Clarence Harmon.
Watch again. We'll see here. It's going to be run to the left. He starts out to the right. Now watch him. He'll cut back right there against the grain. Gets off Neal right there in the open field. Beasley Reese misses, runs through the tackle, and then picks up a first down. That was a nice little cutback. Started out to the right, at the defense coming across, and then cut back to the left.
Very dependable player, Clarence Harmon. Ricky Walker goes in motion. This is Riggins looking for a place to go, and he doesn't find but a yard. They converge on him quickly, led by D. Hardison, number 79.
And one of the advantages of this single back in the backfield is that you can use a lot of backs, but you only have to have one. So you can have a Riggins, and you can have a Harmon, and then you can bring in a Joe Washington, because you only need one rather than having to play in both at the same time. So you get double use out of the guys you have. You play 2 of them together once as compared to playing 1 of them together.
I understand. 2nd down. Theismann has Monk. A juggling catch that should get the Redskins another first down. Brian Kelly tripped him up.
That was something. His tight end, Don Warren, was right there with him. Monk looked like he pushed off Warren. Let's see if we can see this again. We'll see Theismann coming back to pass protection, little stunt, still bringing a linebacker. Now see, Warren thought he was getting the ball, and Monk came right underneath him and picked it off from his own man, his tight end, Don Warren.
I'm not sure that Theismann wasn't throwing the ball for Warren.
Warren's not sure that Theismann wasn't throwing the ball to Warren.
3rd and 1. He did not get the first down. Line of scrimmage, the Giant 40. 4:45 left, 3rd quarter. Again, they give to Riggins. And that second lunge might have gotten the first down. He didn't have it initially, and he regrouped and went ahead. Red Cashin says we might measure. Harry Carson is the Giant tackler.
I can see that's a first down from here. they're going to bring it in anyway. See, when a referee, he has the black hat. He's the referee. All the other guys, they have white hats, and they're umpires, line judge, and so on. When he pats himself on the head, then that means it's his timeout.
You notice that the colleges do it the other way?
Always.
Good God. In the colleges, the referee wears the white hat.
Right, and all the other guys have on the black hat. Well, the first thing to go are the eyes.
You could see it was a first down from here.
I could see it from here. It was a first down. I think they moved it back.
4th and an inch. Otis Wansley is the close back behind Theismann. Riggins is the other. Theismann will do it himself. Maybe.
Now this is going to be an interesting spot here. They can run it in from the side to mark that. Where he puts that foot, I don't have any idea how they decide that. It is a right foot coming from that side, so that means it's probably short.
I can see that's the first down from here.
I can see it's a first down from here too. I have no idea how they decide this. I really don't. The guy just runs in and puts his foot down. This has to be a first down. Let's see if we can watch it here. Now Theismann is going to keep it himself. Now again, he starts here. Right there, he looks like he has it, but then the ball gets knocked back. Now, how they decide, now look, here's the football way back here, so they can't mark that. See, it's in his hand. How they mark the exact spot, no idea.
First down, nevertheless, from the 39. It'll be Riggins, the ball carrier, and he won't get much. Van Pelt and Carson converge, the two linebackers on that side. Curtis McGriff again involved in the contact as well.
Ray Perkins says that Curtis McGriff, who starts and just plays rundowns, is probably the best run defensive player the Giants have. Of course, then he goes out, and then George Martin comes in, and he's one of their best pass rushers.
In comes the so-called nickel defense. They use 6 defensive backs on 2nd and 9. Passing down. Brown in motion. Clarence Harmon barrels down to about the 31-yard line before Byron Hunt trips him up. Helped by D. Hardison. Now the run troops come back in. Hill, Carson, Taylor, Brian Kelly.
That's the thing that's getting so complicated with this situation substitution. You know, I play my run defense, so I pass against your run defense. You play your pass defense, I run against your pass defense, and computer versus computer. It's very complicated.
So complicated that Joe Theismann calls a timeout and wants to talk it over. Not quite sure what he wanted to do, and he wants to talk it over with Joe Gibbs. So we have 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter at Giants Stadium. And it's the Redskins 21, the Giants 10. John will board the train tomorrow. We'll catch him for our turkey there. Theismann. Monk. That'll be a Redskin first down. Terry Jackson, the tackler. Theismann's had a hot hand all day.
I think Joe Theismann took a timeout to talk about what we were talking about just before that the Giants put in their pass defense, and he ran a play, a draw play. Then the Giants put in their run defense. He probably had a run call, took timeout, and said, let's throw against their run defense. Pretty effective.
Effective enough so that his statistics are 14 out of 18 for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Riggins again, the lone setback. And again, Monk in motion. Monk, the intended receiver, that one sails over everybody. The coverage was good by Mark Haynes.
That was one that Joe Theismann was trying to look off the safety. He wanted the weak safety to stay away. So he looked to the left to hold the weak safety in the middle so they could throw deep to the right. Of course, Mark Haynes was man-to-man in good coverage.
The all-time leading passers in Redskin history. Sonny Jurgensen, who's here today, of course, working on the radio broadcast. Sammy Baugh, the great one. Joe Theismann is third, and Billy Kilmer, flame face, fourth on the list. Harmon lunges straight ahead to about the 20-yard line before George Martin trips him up. Crowd at Giant Stadium, very quiet at the moment. It'll be 3rd down and 7 at the Giant 21. The Redskins in field goal range already.
The crowd, they'll put on a performance for you. You know, it did kind of fill in, though. Earlier, it looked like about half full, and now we've heard there's only 5,000 no-shows here today.
Washington with a good percentage on 3rd down conversions, 7 of 11. Straight back now, wheels to his left. Still looking, throwing. Art Monk almost had a touchdown. He got one hand up. Beasley Reese back there with him. Heisman really had to thread the needle, and he almost did it.
You can see what happens to the coverage here. We see Courier right there on Monk. He's running underneath him. Now Theismann scrambling. See, and this is what you get when you buy time. So it switches from Courier over to Beasley Reese.
Right.
See, that's what a quarterback can do by scrambling, is buy some time and let his receivers do their one move and then go to a second one.
Mark Mosley has made 9 straight field goal attempts, 6 for 6 this year. Mosley's kick is good. That's 10 in a row for Mark Mosley. And the Redskins move out in front 24 to 10. With 53 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, Washington holds that lead, 24-10. For the Redskins, the rookie from North Carolina is 5'11", 175. This will be Danny Pittman. Pittman nudges his way out to about the 22-yard line. Washington has had the ball 12 minutes and 10 seconds this quarter. The Giants have had it 1 minute 57 seconds. We've got 43 seconds left to play.
And look at that scoring drive there. 8 minutes and 21 seconds. The Redskins had that ball on the last drive. Of course, they only got 3 points out of it, but when you're driving that long, that means that their defense is on the field. Plus, it also means that your offense doesn't have a chance to do anything.
These two teams split last year. The Redskins won here in overtime. The Giants won 17-7 at RFK. But in both games, the Redskins outgained the Giants by a wide margin. Here is Bruner throwing on 1st down, throwing and almost picked off by Mark Murphy. Intended for Ernest Gray. Murphy had a chance.
It was one of those plays that didn't work. They didn't get Mark Murphy out of the middle. We see Dean running here. Now, see, Murphy was right there in the middle. He saw the ball, and then he got a good break and jump on it. He just didn't catch it.
Butts comes out. Redskins go with their extra defensive back. And they use a 3-man front to rush. Runner on draw play to Cliff Chapman. Cliff will have a 1st down. That's out to the 35. Vernon Dean, the hitter, tripped him up. 13-yard gain for Chapman. It's an interesting comment Ray Perkins made to us yesterday talking about Cliff Chapman. He said he would have bet anybody anything that he wouldn't make the team.
This is the 2nd year. The 1st year, when he first came to camp, they were going to cut him. He said repetition, repetition. He just kept getting better and better. And he said he thinks he may be one of the good ones.
He's got another chance right here. And good yardage again for Cliff Chapman. Number 31. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Tony Peters tripped him up at And once again got good yardage at the end of 3. Washington Redskins 24. New York Giants.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge.
One more quarter of football to go at Giant Stadium. And it is good to be back. Joe Gibbs. Very, very bright Washington Redskins coach.
He looks mild, too, doesn't he?
He does.
He's not.
Not at all.
Nope.
Perkins in motion. Bruner gets to Wolf. A penalty marker comes flying from the sideline as Dave Butts wraps Butch up after he got a couple of yards.
He was talking about Joe Gibbs, and now he's one of these offensive geniuses in the National Football League. He's a great coach and a great guy. We were at San Diego State together. He and I would argue all the time. We had these big arguments, and we had one. And I said, if you do that, you'll never coach again on defense. He did it, so he never coached again on defense. Don Coryell made him an offensive coach, and now this is how he got where he is today.
And now he's one of the bright offensive minds.
Lined up in the neutral zone. Number 69 on the defense. First down.
It was a ridiculous argument, Pat. He was coaching the alumni, the head coach. I was coaching against the alumni again, and he was my assistant. I was telling him, tell me the plays you're going to run so we can work against them. He said, no. I said, either tell me the plays or you won't coach defense anymore. He didn't tell me the plays.
Brunner. Ernest Gray, but again, the penalty marker is down. Holding against the Giants. They'll move it back, bring that back.
Bruner was disappointed on that. He just started to jog downfield after the completion. He saw that penalty and just stopped right in the middle of it.
15-yard gain wiped out. Opening seconds of the fourth quarter.
Holding. Number 72 on the offense. Still first down.
Against the offensive captain, Gordon King, who has developed into a fine offensive tackle by the way. Comparing the quarterbacks, Theismann 14 out of 20 to 2 touchdowns. Bruner 7 out of 17, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Bruner sprints out, is chased, really bothered. This is Butch Wolfel. Breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. Knocked out of bounds at about the 47-yard line by Perry Brooks.
And this wasn't, it was a sloppy screen. You know, the screen, what you want to do is get the defense to rush. So he sprints a little to the left, but when he gets back there, he had some people in the ground, some people to the outside. Gets a block there. They didn't get the linebacker coming from the outside.
2nd and 11. Chapman goes out. Gary Shirt comes in. The tight end lined up on the right side. The 2 wide receivers split together to the left. Here comes Mulledy, another tight end. They go with 1 setback. It's Wolfel. They got a big hole. Which, not a first down, but good yardage. Neil Olkowitz knocked him down. It'll be 3rd down and a big one.
This will be a big one. You see the motion here going in front. It's a draw play. Starts in the middle. Nothing there. Bounces to the outside. Has the pulling guard. Goes right there off Billy Yard's block. And gets a few more yards, but they're still short. Like I said, it's 3rd and 2.
At the 43-yard line of the Redskins, who lead 24-10. 14 minutes left to play. Redskins unbeaten. The Giants 0-2. First down over the left side. Mark Murphy came up to make the tackle. Wolfhook is knocked backwards, but he had the first down.
Well, the Giants with 13 minutes here, they have to think in terms of 2 score. They're 14 points down. So again, they have to get going here. They needed the first down. This is a smart play. Get the first down and now go to work. There's 13 minutes, 35 seconds, and they need 2 scores to tie.
They will go to work from the Redskin 40. 1st and 10. Scott Bruner Giants. Olkowitz over there with him. 17-yard pickup.
We'll see the double zone again. You see Jarris White coming up here. He bumps Perkins. Now he gets by the linebacker right there, Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, and catches the ball. So he got by the bump. He got between the linebackers and the secondary and caught it in a layer against the zone.
1st and 10 Giants at the Redskin 23. Perkins again wide to the left. Gray wide to the right. Handoff is to Clint Chapman. Murphy up there quickly. Takes him down. Jarris White up to make the assist. Not much doing there.
Now the Redskins have been playing very tough on that first down run, and again I think when you're thinking of 2 scores, time does become important even at this time.
Even though there are 13 minutes, 7 seconds left to play. 2 scores against a tough defense like this is a pretty good challenge. 2nd down and 10, no gain on the last play. Line of scrimmage still to 23 as Bruner looks over the defense. Puts Woolfolk in motion. Holiday has it at the 2. Good throw from Scott Bruner. Murphy on the tackle, but it'll be 1st and goal Giants.
Start working that tight end. Again, we'll see Bruner going back here. He's looking. Here's Mulledy right here on the left-hand side of the screen. Again, it's against the zone. He gets on a linebacker, and he catches the ball before the free safety, Mark Murphy, gets over to that side.
The linebacker was Olkowitz, and he just pulled away from him. 1st and goal from the 1. Chapman and Woolfolk, the 2 backs. Mulledy goes in motion. Chapman. Touchdown. The Giants inch closer. A little scuffle going on. Not serious. Tony McGee. Dexter Manley.
Dexter Manley was upset the play before on the pass completion. He thought he was held on that play, and then that carried over into that down. Dexter, you have to calm down now. You can't do something dumb that'll hurt your team.
It's 24-16 now. Still a lot of time left to play. To move the Giants to within a touchdown and an extra point. It is 24-17. Here's the touchdown again.
Watch this. Everyone down low. Keep the shoulders low. The back can come up over the top. See that little spin is the thing that got him in the end zone.
Washington by a touchdown. Mike Nelms back deep for the Redskins, and Danilo approaches. From the 1. Pretty good looking wedge. 1 man. Somebody just barely hung on. Mark Haynes to bring him down. 35-yard kickoff return by Nelms.
Let's watch that touchdown again. We'll see what second ever. Now, the left tackle, Benson really doesn't do a good job. Brad Benson, he gets knocked back. But watch Chapman. He gets stopped here, and a little twist gets him into the end zone. Watch number 60 come flying back here. Have to get penetration. Now watch right here. Chapman here. Now that little squeeze, and then back going in. Big play.
The crowd now has very much come to life. 2 tight ends, and Clint Didier was in motion. This is Riggins. Almost broken. Did break for good yardage. Harry Carson tripped him up, but Riggins got 8.
What the Redskins would like to do now is have another one of those drives where they hold the ball for 8 minutes. I thought that was why it was important for the Giants to get a score, because the Redskins offensively have been able to control the ball against this Giant defense.
They'd like to have one of those time-consuming efforts right now. Monk split out wide to the left. 2nd down and 5. And it's Didier in motion. Riggins the ball Gets into the secondary, running over people. Barrels down to about the 43-yard line. Bill Courier tripped him up. That is the Riggins of old, 17 yards.
Watch his block on Harry Carson, number 53. He's the inside linebacker. Steps up. The tackle comes in, the right guard, Mark May, picked him off, turned him, and then knocked him to the ground.
That's a good block.
Mark May was the #1 draft choice a year ago from the University of Pittsburgh.
Another one of those huge young men that the Redskins have in that offensive line. He goes about 290.
290. You know what they call the offensive line of the Redskins? Their nickname is Hogs.
They're all full grown. Here's Riggins again. Looking for room, finds some, gets perhaps just across the 40-yard line, not much.
I like that kind of talk. Hogs, especially they ought to be playing on grass and in mud, where they have stuff hanging off their face mask and out of their nose and on their pants.
They do at RFK.
I know it, but here on the artificial turf, it's hard for someone a hog to be a hog. Right. You know what they do? If one of the wide receivers makes a block, and they call him a piglet.
And they give him a T-shirt or something.
Yeah, it says piglet. Hogs and piglets. Remember it used to be football?
Second down and 6 from the 39. Workhorse Riggins gets the carry again. He only gets about a yard this time before Brian Kelly knocks him back.
Let's watch the center here, Jeff Bostic, 53. He's going against Bill Neal. Now you can't let that nose tackle get penetration. You see what Neal did? Took the center, put him in the backfield, and made the tackle.
He had an awfully good year last year as a rookie.
He sure did. Lawrence Taylor got a lot of the credit, and he deserved it, but Bill Neal, number 77 there, had a lot to do with it.
Third down, 6 on the 39. Heisman puts Monk in motion, and he will try to throw. They got the blitz on. Heisman running, trying to get away. Monk comes back and makes the clutch catch. Shy of a first down.
Very close. And what a competitor Joe Theismann is. See that? That was all. He's the now of the Giants. Now watch him on this pass rush. He starts good pass protection by Jacoby. He gets off and he hits Theismann.
First down. Monk's second effort got that, and Theismann was both over. First and 10 from the Giants 30. At least a field goal here.
That was a big play. That was a third down play.
We're running with just over 8 minutes left to play. Riggins tries to cut back inside. Lawrence Taylor wraps him up and swings him to the ground. Like the Redskins have that philosophy that a lot of people used to have against Alan Page about how to contain Lawrence Taylor, and that is run at him.
Run at him and have someone on and block him. He's a right linebacker. When you go right formation, put the tight end away from him, he's usually free with no man on him. What the Redskins have done all day is put a tight end right on Taylor, so they always had to take on a block first.
That's exactly what they do now. Don Warren in front of Taylor. Riggins this time circles to his right, and he had nothing to do with it. The Giants defense, Curtis McGriff, and everybody over quickly. And they wrap him up.
I'll tell you one thing that John Riggins did that was smart there at the end of the play. He didn't let him knock him out of bounds, because when there was 7 minutes to go, he knew that he wasn't going to make any yardage, but he didn't want to stop the clock.
It'll be 3rd and 12. Riggins comes over to the sideline. He's had a busy day. The ball's at the 34-yard line, actually nearer the 35, so it would be a tough field goal, even for Mark Mosley.
It'll be a 52-yard field goal from here, so maybe they won't get a first down, but they would like to get 5 or 6 yards off it to get Mosley closer.
Virgil see the intended receiver. Good play by Mark Haynes. Timed it well.
Now we'll see if Joe Gibbs sends out Mark Mosley. Of course, as you said, Mosley has not missed a field goal this year. And he's not going to miss one right here either because they're sending the punter, Jeff Hayes, out.
10 in a row for Mosley, but Hayes comes out. I guess, among other things, Joe Gibbs figures the risk of blocking a field goal. The Giants picking it up and evening things. 6:22 left to play.
Giants, I'm sure, will come on a punt block here. There's no reason to set up a return.
Yeah, Beasley Reese back deep. Hanging kick. The Redskins down quickly. Ball bounces. They bat it back out of the end zone, and they down it at the 2-yard line. Excellent kick and an excellent play.
Hey, Jeff Hayes is happy. That's the drop kick, the drop punt. You know, a lot of times they used to always try and kick for a coffin corner. This is the one that he's doing now where you just drop it up, let your guys get in there and stop it before it gets to the goal line.
We'll return to Giant Stadium after this word from your...
Now, Clint Didier, number 86, was able to get up. Watch, right there in the end zone. Didn't touch his feet. Tap it back. And that's why the Giants are starting on the 1-yard line. Look at the punter. Oh, I did it.
Looking for room. Bruner gives to Cliff Chapman, who gets some room. Line of scrimmage when they began that play was the 2-yard line. I don't know what that sign is.
It looks like 8. Oh, it's the 8-yard line, right? Yeah, he was showing them 5 on one hand and 3 on the other hand. He was signaling to them we're on the 8-yard line. Because Ray Perkins is going to decide what play to call.
Perkins looking down in that direction. The Giants have a long way to go. The clock is running. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 7. Bruner said the 8. Scoreboard says the 7. 2nd and 4. Chapman again. To the 10. Right now for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
At the Super Bowl champs, the San Francisco 49ers are closing in on their first win. Number 25, Jeff Moore will go in motion, and then a simple post pattern by Dwight Clark. And here it is from Joe Montana, 33 yards, 31-13. Back now to Pat and John.
49ers seem to have healed during the layoff period. Washington has 2 timeouts remaining. The Giants have all of theirs left, all 3. 3rd and 2 at the 10. Bruner puts Melody in motion. Gives to Chapman again, and he won't get the first down.
Now, if he doesn't have the first down, it'll be a decision for Ray Perkins, because with 4 minutes and 38 seconds, do you punt the ball out, play strong defense, try and get it back again, or do you risk the whole game on one play, the 4th down play?
I think in this situation you have to punt.
I would think so too. But first of all, we have to have the measurement.
It didn't appear to me to be that close. The Giants apparently wanted to measure.
It's all in the market.
Closer than I thought. First down.
First down.
He got it.
Like I said, it's all in the market, Pat. It's wherever they put that foot. They got a nice left foot job there.
Left foot usually means first down. Right foot doesn't.
Absolutely. Well, it depends on which side they're going. But if the foot is closest to the defense, it's a first down. Closest to the offense, it's not.
A little breathing room. 4:25 left now. Bruner will now start to throw. Butts, big arm up in his face. Made him pull the ball back down, and finally he goes down.
Looks like Bruner was expecting that double coverage. You know, we've seen that double coverage, the zone, the corner rotates, the safety comes over. That time the Redskins didn't use it. Bruner had a hand in front of him. As you said, he had to pull the ball down.
Second half possessions for the Giants. They ran 3 plays and punted. They ran 2 plays, scored a touchdown. 10 plays, scored a touchdown. Second and 12, 2-yard loss on first down. The long line of scrimmage now back at the 10. Bruner drop play. Wolfel breaks one tackle, breaks another. Butch Wolfel fighting for yardage outside the 20. Nearly picked up another first down before Jarris White finally wrestled him to the ground. The clock continues to run. 24-17, the Redskins over the Giants. The number 1 draft choice came back after the strike weighing 216 pounds. Picked up about 6.
I'll tell you who did a good job on that play was the other back, number 31, Cliff Chapman. He made a nice block out here on the right side to let Wolfel cut off and get about 5 more yards.
Seattle and Denver tied at 10 in the fourth quarter. Third down, a very, very short foot to go. Signals in to his quarterback.
That looked like a simple call. That was just right chest, left chest, point to do it. I'd like maybe something like a quarterback sneak. But it can't be a complicated pass play or some fancy off tackle with double teaming and kicking out. Always some little simple play.
They've done it twice. The quarterback sneak, I mean. Is the flanker on the right side. The 2 backs are Wolfel and Chapman. Quarterback sneak. Simple signal.
Now we know the signal for the quarterback sneak. Right chest, left chest, point.
Right chest means quarterback sneak. Left chest means you can make it if you've got enough heart. What's that?
This is more complicated. Oh, this is a whole bunch of them. Then the 2. This has to be a pass. When you think. See, he's saying that last one was hurry up. We need a score. We have 78 yards to go. Let's get this thing cranked up.
Pass signal looked like something you might see from Billy Martin. First and 10 at the 22. Here's Bruner fading. And throwing. Ernest Gray and overthrown. Back there with him, Jarris White.
I'll tell you, that was a good play. They got the weak safety out. Quarterback Bruner got rushed right at the end. But I'll tell you, that was a foot race down the middle of the field. Watch Bruner here. Just as he's throwing, did he take one there?
That was Perry Brooks, I believe, that hit him. Number 69, second and 10. Clock stopped. 3 minutes, 1 second left to play. Redskins 24, Giants 17. 70,766 on hand here. The first roll, Butch looking down his face, and down he goes. Tony McGee came to the left side. The 3rd sack of Bruner by the Redskin defense.
The Redskins picked up Tony McGee as a pass rusher. He's a 12-year veteran, played for years with the New England Patriots as a pass rush special. And here he comes in and makes the play, and that's why they have Tony McGee.
Clock continues to tick away. It'll be 3rd down and 17. Back at the 16-yard line. Bruner, looking a little worse for wear, will now operate from the shotgun. Bright and Heater coming in this offensive situation. One-handed blind snap from Humphrey. Bruner intended for Perkins. He can't come up with it. And the Redskins come up with it. This is Monty Coleman. Now they say he didn't come up with it. It's incomplete. Coleman in the end zone saying, what? I caught it. But nobody really believes it.
No one's watching him. They say incomplete, so the Giants will punt.
Jennings checks in. Mike Nelms goes back deep. Once again for the Redskins. Dave hasn't really hit one all day. Now he has. Chases Nelms all the way back inside his 30. Steps up inside Danny Pittman looking for running room. Finds some. Nelms out to the 40. Good effort. Clock will stop now with 2:08 left. 58-yard punt by Jennings. Washington still leads with 2 minutes 8 seconds left to play. Redskins 24, the Giants 17. 2 minutes 8 seconds left to play. Redskins 24, Giants 17. Redskins have the football at their own 40. Joe Theismann has had a good day, not one of his great ones. Hard bunk out wide to the left. Lee Riggins is the lone setback. And they give the football to Riggins, covering it up very carefully, guarding it. We should get the 2-minute warning. Curtis McGriff made the tackle before they run another play. So with 2 minutes left, the unbeaten Redskins just that length of time away from remaining unbeaten, and the Giants still winless. So I invite you to join us on Thanksgiving Day. John Madden and I'll be at the Silverdome to bring you the contest between the Giants and the Detroit Lions. And then the following Sunday, Philadelphia at Washington and Green Bay against the very impressive New York Jets. Green Bay impressive also. Second down, Theismann looking downfield will throw. Ball batted away at the last second by Terry Jackson. Theismann thought he had that one, I'm sure.
I think he did, you know, and Beasley Reese was coming across and the ball just went beyond him. Now here's the timeout. Now with that pass, of course, the clock stops, so the Giants don't have to use a timeout. If the Redskins run a play and don't gain a first down, then the Giants will use a timeout after this play.
Giants have all of theirs left. It'll be 3rd and 7. The line of scrimmage, the 43. Theismann brings it up quickly. He has Clarence Harmon now as his running back. Gonna throw and going deep. And has Virgil C. And that just about ought to lock it up. Mike Dennis back there on the coverage. But Theismann led him to the outside away from the defender and led him perfectly. 37-yard pickup.
And that was the Giants and their 6 defensive backs. And they have Mike Dennis in here. He's man-to-man on Virgil C. And, of course, C just beats him. And it was a perfect pass. You want to throw that deep one up over the outside shoulder. I'll tell you, Joe Theismann made the play when he had to.
Theismann 16 out of 24, 2 touchdowns. And now 185 yards. That is not a bad day. I said it wasn't one of his great ones, but it's certainly better than respectable, isn't it?
Under the situation.
He gives again to Riggins. Riggins inside the 15 to about the 14. Redskins this time keep the clock running, and now the Giants burn a timeout.
This is a time here where the Redskins, the most important thing to them, rather than scoring, is now just to run time off the clock, because if the Giants don't get the ball back, there's no way the Redskins can lose. Now, a lot of people don't understand, why don't they kick a field goal? Why don't they try and score now?
Washington 24, the Giants 17. 1:41 left to play.
And he's man-to-man on Virgil C. Now, when you get up this close, you have to get a bump in here to throw the receiver off. If you miss him, then it becomes a foot race, and on that one, Mike Dennis lost the foot race. Now watch it right here. He's up here. He misses. No hits. You have to hit him in that area, and if not, then you have the opportunity for this type of play. And, of course, that's the play that put the Redskins in this position.
Second down and 4 from the 14 for Washington. But they'll remain unbeaten going into next week against Philadelphia. Riggins leans off to the right side, is down, hit first by Harry Carson. Another Giant timeout. They have one left after this. Time remaining 1:33 as Ray Perkins looks on. Disappointing day for him, of course. Washington up by a touchdown. Enjoy the holiday with CBS Sports and great NCAA football. This Friday you'll see 2 of college football's oldest and most intense rivalry. Oklahoma Sooners visit the Nebraska Cornhuskers in a game that will determine the Big 8 champion and the host of the Orange Bowl. and then Notre Dame and USC on Saturday. Here comes Riggins again. Trying to get to the outside. Does get to the outside. Doesn't get a first down. And let's see if Joe Gibbs tries to go or chooses to go for the field goal. He waves that Mosley should go on.
That's right. What he would have liked to have done is gotten the first down. Then he could just run the clock out. Since he didn't get the first down, he has to take the field goal, which would give him a 10-point lead. And then the Giants need 2 scores.
1:26 left to play, and the Redskins could put it away with Mosley's success right here. In fact, you wouldn't really know if you watched what they did today that they had been on an 8-week vacation.
I tell you, Joe Theismann has had a heck of a day. He has really made some big plays for the Redskins, and some of those plays by scrambling and movement he's made on his own. And then the last big pass to Virgil C. was the pass that they needed on 3rd down.
Mark Mosley will have Joe Theismann holding from 22 yards out. Redskins already lead by that 1 touchdown, 24-17. 1:26 left to play. Giants out of timeouts. Mosley has hit 10 in a row. 7 of 7 this year and 3 straight last year. And a straightaway kicker rips another one through. He's one of only 2 that do not use the soccer style in the NFL now. Mark Mosley 2 for 2 today, and the Redskins move out 27-17. The executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Terry O'Neill. The senior producer is Chuck Milton. Charles III, today's broadcast produced so ably by Bob Stinner, directed with Magic Pictures by Sandy Grossman. Associate producer, the well-known Deuce, Bill Brown, and the rest of those who make it so simple for us. Thank you, Lou Scanner. Redskins will kick off. Hayes, and it looks like the Redskins will be 3-0, as I said before, going home to play Philadelphia. A lot of people think, John, that a record of 5-4 under this existing playoff system for this year will be good enough to get into the playoffs.
Tell you, if that's true, the Redskins sure have to be in great position.
60 minutes coming up, don't forget, following football. Hayes will kick off.
Someone told me during the strike that one of the good things about the strike is everyone got to see 60 minutes in its entirety.
At the scheduled time.
At the scheduled time.
You always see it in its entirety. Giants can't find the handle again. Down it goes. Started there and dropped 1 or 2.
The one,
excuse me, John.
The one thing I think we ought to mention is that we really haven't seen an awful lot of injuries today.
No.
I thought there would be more.
I think everyone did. Knee strain by Lawrence Taylor. 4th quarter, San Francisco 34-13 over St. Louis. Bruner throwing. John Missler made the dive, incomplete.
Fisher said, no, 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 it hit the white.
Missler, the intended receiver.
Now there is the surprise. Look at that, Seattle. Mike McCormick, his first game as head coach of Seattle. And they upset the Denver Broncos 17-10.
At Denver.
Mile High Stadium.
Clock stops. Giants out of timeouts. Redskins leading 27-17. The shotgun. Throws to Johnny Perkins, and Perkins gets out to about the 20. It'll be enough for a first down, but they cannot stop the clock. They run quickly. Throws. Missler. First down. And again, they hustle up quickly. Clock running at 40 seconds left to play. Or will be by the time they get set at least. Now less.
Gordon King was hurt on that play, and he's not getting out there. He finally got off.
Bruner, Missler again. Heading and trying to get out of bounds. Lost the football momentarily. Tonight's lineup on CBS. 60 Minutes, of course. Archie Bunker's plays Gloria, the Jeffersons. One day at a time, and Trapper John M.D. Bruner. Perkins trots out of bounds with 7 seconds left to play. The Redskins have this one in the W column. They'll have a short trip back to the nation's capital.
The Giants are getting an opportunity here to practice.
Yeah. Practice the 2-minute drill?
Just practice, get more plays in. You know, those types of things. They've had a long time off and a little rusty, and they're getting a little practice right here. They have to play again on Thursday, of course, Thanksgiving Day. This is big for the Redskins. You know, with this win, they've won 11 of their last 14 games.
That's the best record in the NFL. Bruner goes deep for the alley-oop effort, and it goes out of bounds. There's no time left on the clock, and the Redskins have beaten the Giants 27-17. What fans are left? The few viewers. That's the final score here. Washington 27-17. Right now, let's go to Tom Brookshire in St. Louis.